Hello there, glad to have you join us on the program this week. I'm Gloria Umezuki. Now, as of December 2010, only 1 in 7 inmates awaiting trial have private legal representation. Well, our discussion today will focus on prison reforms vis-a-vis the spate of prison breaks, attacks, and riots across the country. And my guest is a former director at the Nigerian Law School. Good afternoon. Seven known gunmen attacked a prison facility in Cotton Carfi in Kogi State and released over 140 inmates, generating huge concern over the consequences. Take a listen.
It is about 6 feet high and 4 feet wide. That's the hole on the Cotton Carfi prison walls from where over 140 prisoners escaped. The prison is said to have been attacked by gunmen at about 10 p.m. Sunday night. 145 inmates were set on the loose, 26 of them convicted, while 119 are still awaiting trial. Passers-by find it hard to believe the ordeal as they watch from a distance, and even prison officials also stand in groups in awe to reflect on how the jailbreak happened. The Cotton Carfi incident shook the entire state, so much that the governor and his deputy came together to see for themselves. The prison head here narrates to them how the gunmen forced themselves through.
I also got in touch with the Army Commander, the General here, the Commissioner of Police, and other security agents in the state. And of course, immediately the Army Commander and the police mobilized to come here for intervention. But unfortunately, before they got here, the damage had been done.
We had an incident like this about a year or so ago, and I met with the minister. And we decided, we appealed to him to expedite work on the new prison here in Cotton Carfi. And I have been informed that work is going on.
The blowout on the prison is huge. Now the efforts of fixing the damaged parts of the prison may be vital for the officials, but the search for the prisoners on the loose is top on the agenda.
There is security in place, but if you are taken by surprise at night, you are in darkness, anything can happen, because you know from which direction they are coming. And efforts are on top gear to recapture all those who are outside now.
The situation now looks rather hopeless, as even the prison leadership seems to be throwing their hands in the air, seeking divine intervention.
I'm sure most of us will go back to Cotton Carfi prison or prisons nearby, like either Kaba or Kenya and others. We pray that most of them will be back before they are declared wanted by government.
The situation is even more intriguing, as not even eyewitnesses could say for sure the identity of the attackers.
All we know is it is a prison break. Nobody can identify whether it's Boko Haram or not Boko Haram. Yes, but they came in large numbers. They are up to 60, as you can see, and they are boys within the range of 18, 15 years.
The prison is now left shattered. Part of the administrative block is not spared. The permanent site of the Cotton Carfi prison is under construction, and with the attack, more pressure now piles for the prison leadership as they now seek to recapture the escapees and securing the ones still behind the prison walls.
In our interview this week, we also take a look at the criminal justice system and the numerous problems attached to it. Former director with the Nigerian Law School, Professor Calvin Mosu, joins me now. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Well, we have this crisis of prison overcrowding across the country, for a number of reasons, of course. What really is your reaction to this menace at the moment?
Well, it's an expected problem because the trial process in Nigeria is slow. The rate at which we use incarceration, either awaiting trial or conviction, is also high, especially awaiting trial. So it's a disaster that is waiting to happen, and for so long as we do nothing about it, it will not improve. We'll keep talking about set up panels upon panels, the problem will not just go away until we do something practical and reasonable about it.
Do you think this has given rise to the recent spate of prison outbreaks?
Sure. When prisons are as overcrowded as ours, it leaves little room for control and effective monitoring and management. So it's easy for the system to be overwhelmed and for any legally minded person to cash in on that and cause havoc. So it's not unlikely that the overcrowding could be a major contributing factor to the rate at which external factors can succeed in infiltrating the system and breaching security in our prisons across the country.
Well, really, let's have your perspective right now. We have high rate of crime in the country, slow pace of judicial processes, an alarming rate of awaiting trial inmates. These are issues that have been lingering over the years now.
Yes.
And in spite of various reforms over the years, still to address this effectively, we haven't really seen anything forthcoming.
We will see, except we are really serious about it. I mean, it's like any other problem in Nigeria. We spend so much talk about it, belabor the issues, and at the end of the day, the little we should do to actually improve the system, nobody does anything. Our prisons will get better, our criminal justice system will get better, except and unless all the major actors decide to develop the political will to actually reform the system. And when I mean political will, I mean a genuine desire to see a change happen. Ironically, the powers are there, the rules are there that enable the criminal justice system at least be substantially better than what it is today. A lot of people complain about existing laws and all that need to reform the law. Yes, I know there's a need to reform the law, but the truth is the laws as we have them today are just sufficient to get us better than where we are today before we talk about any perfection or ideal situation. So I think what is important here is for all major actors in criminal justice to sit back and actually decide that it's time for change. And except we do that, the laws won't get part of the textbook to make the difference. It takes humans, and it takes humans at different levels. And government is a major stakeholder, of course, but there are other actors in criminal justice who need to be really serious about changing the way we look at crime and the criminal justice system and ensure that we have an effective administration of criminal justice. You see, the point is sometimes politicians tend to misdiagnose the problem. The problem, of this country is more lack of rule of law. And when there is a breakdown in the justice system, there's hardly anything you can achieve in any other sector of national life. If you build the most fantastic of rules and structures all over the place, if there's no security of life and property, if there is a little bit of fear amongst the citizens, then all those infrastructure go to no issue. And this is perhaps the reason one ministry, one department, one institution of government that is recognized by the Constitution is the Justice Ministry. And justice is an essential commodity in any decent democracy. You cannot have a stable democracy if your justice system is not working as best as it should. So I think it's the right time we started looking critically at those issues that make our justice system as low as they are and see what we can do to actually improve it, especially the criminal justice system. One of the reasons people refrain from crime is the certainty of being arrested and the certainty of being tried and the certainty of certain measures being taken. And when that is missing, it opens a floodgate for people to, those who even think about it. But there are people who don't think about the consequence of crime before they go to crime. That really don't even understand the extant laws and what it provides and what it does not provide. They just live their life. And when they do something that is wrong with law, you have to have a system to get them to realize that what they are doing is wrong. So they learn their lesson. But if there's no system like of such in place, they do it and they get away with it. So in Nigeria today, a lot of people get away with all sorts of things. Some of them don't even realize that what they are doing is wrong in law. And this is the point we made, that you have to strengthen the criminal justice system for literally every other sector to work. If you build the mansion in Abuja today, if it's not well protected and secure, you don't get a sense of this is public property, I cannot do anything that will hurt the public interest, then you go damage the property and just walk away. If you have the level of impunity that we have even amongst public office holders and government officers, you cannot expect the criminal justice system to work, because everybody down the line learns from our leaders. So our leaders have to know that this criminal justice enforcement starts right from their doorstep. A system where a public officer, because he's on siren and brother, beats the traffic light and runs again, is an impunity that cannot be tolerated in any decent environment. But we do it and we won't get away with it, and we expect that there should be a separate regime for the smoking area boy under the bridge. It didn't happen that way.